cool. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the session we'll never forget.
Right, okay. It's obviously a session I won't forget for a few reasons. One, I caught my PB, my first UK 40. And two, I was going through a lot in my personal life. But we'll leave the personal life out of it. But I think that added to the emotion too.
Okay.
I was going through some hard times. And then I caught this, and it just changed my mood that day for sure. So basically, it was at a lake called Emperor, which I'll explain more about the lake in depth, probably on that next question that's coming up. So basically, I'd got there for an overnighter, as I always done. Probably, I can't remember what time I got there, to be honest, but it wouldn't have been early. So it would have been after work, I would imagine. Got there, had a walk around, I just spoke to a few of the guys, dropped in a swim that is kind of a central area. You've got like 3 islands, so they are kind of almost bottlenecked through. It is a passing point for sure. Got the rods out, hadn't seen anything, just dropped in there, got the rods out, everything. The weather was a bit savage, so it was raining, windy, the wind was swirling, the rain was going everywhere. But yeah, just whacked a couple of pop-ups out, 20-30 baits over each, and settled in for the night.
What baits? What hook baits?
Hook baits, it was the Kraken pop-ups, one of my favourites, pink, and I was using a mixture of allergy and Kraken actually, in both the sizes, and I had some bloodburn liquid on it as well.
Okay.
Just something I was trying. So I think it was about, it was like twilight, so it was just getting dark, and I seen a fish just come out like in the channel. So from me to the island is probably like 20 yards.
Okay.
And it probably showed 2/3 of the way across, and it just come out like that. I was looking in the perfect direction at the time, and it just come out and just like flopped over. It didn't make that much sound. Like I probably wouldn't have heard it because of the wind and rain. I was like, that'll do. I reeled a rod in, flicked it over there, probably about 30-40 baits over the top, sailed in for the night. Now through the night, I probably woke up and moved my bivvy, because I don't fish with ground sheet or a front or anything.
Hardcore.
Yeah, hardcore. Yeah. None of this malarkey like some people. So I had to move the bivvy about half a dozen times because the rain just kept coming in. No matter what way I'd put it, it would come in, and because it was swirling, the lake is like in a dip.
Okay.
So all the ground around it's higher, and then it's a dip. So I reckon that the wind does just tend to swirl around, especially with the 3 islands as well. So I was just getting pelted with rain all night, moving the bivvy, no sleep whatsoever. Absolutely knackered in the morning, woke up to yet another blank. I don't know how many blanks I've done, quite a few. And yeah, woke up, was like, sweet mate, another blank. So just having a cup of tea and thinking, right, I'm going to pack away and go to work and what have you. And I started packing away. And I don't know why I got into this habit, but I think it's because of the way I packed down. I think maybe my receiver went in the barrow bag or something at the bottom. So I'd always turn my receiver off once I'd packed a lot of the stuff away from the bivvy, put it in the barrow bag, and then I would usually go and turn my heads on. I didn't. So I was pissing about sorting all the bivvy and that out. I was bent in the bivvy with my back to the lake, sorting out. And then I turned around and looked out the bivvy, and my left rod is absolutely busting off, just zzz. And I'm like in shock to start with. I'm like,
was it your first bite from the complex?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's how I do it, mate. To be fair, I never do it like that. Usually, I don't fluked a big one at the start, but this time I did. But yeah, it was just fizzing off. Took me a few minutes to like, you know, think, what? Oh, I'm in. Like, lifted into it, was on the 10 footers as well, with my little reels. And what it's done is, where the island comes round, in the little channel I've seen it, it's come up around and then just tore off straight up there. Now, there's another island there and a channel. So it's going and going and going and going and going, and I'm thinking, I'm going to have to stop this, because if I don't stop it now, it could get past the point of no return and then bolt left. At this point, I don't know what I'm bolt to. I'm just, you know, just a car that's on that first run. Because even small fish, you know what it's like. Small fish, if they've got the momentum on that first run, they can flatload you.
Yeah.
But then once you slow them up, it's like, yeah, nothing. So didn't have a clue. So anyway, I've managed to stop it, and it started to kite a little bit that way. So I've had to give it full right hand to stop it going in between the two islands. Managed to stop it, 10 footers, held strong, and then it's just completely changed direction and just started kiting right and right and right. Not quick, just nice and slowly. I'm like, what the hell? And I'm trying to give it as much, I just can't keep up with it. You're just shortening the line ever so slightly, ain't you, on a kite? So he's gone. So he kited, and there's another island here, he's kited just off the front of this island, and there's another swim to the right. He's kited past that swim, there was no one in there, but it's all rushes. And he's gone into the rushes, past that other swim.
Okay.
Just couldn't stop it, man. So I'm like, oh no, not the first bite, I'm going to lose it. So I'm just keeping attention on, and old Mr. Captain, we call him, Gav, good lad. I shouted him, I was like, get the boat, man! So he's like, oh, it's sweet. Or I rang him, I can't remember, I probably rang him. But he comes out in the boat, and I'm like, oh, what if it comes off though in the meantime? So I thought, I'm going to give it a little tweak and see, because it's only rushes, a big fish, it's not going to have got, obviously I didn't know it's a big fish, but it's not going to have gone in far. I'm thinking, right, problem is I've got 10 footers, not got much leverage, so I just go out onto the platform and just give it a little bit, and it starts to come. I'm like, oh, come on, please. It comes out, and then it, kites left, and it's out in front of me. I'm like, sweet. And Gav's just turned up, he's like, oh, right. I'm like, yeah, it's come out, mate, sorry. So I carry on playing it. He's like, what is it? I was like, don't know yet. And then it's rolled, and I'm like, oh, shit. I know it's one of two fish, just from the sheer size, and it's either Hardtail or Mr. T. Hardtail's over 50, Mr. T's mid 40, and I think it's gone nearly 50, or it might have done 50, I can't remember. So I know I'm hooked to at least a mid 40. My PB before that's like upper 30 maybe, something like that. So I'm like, oh yeah. And then it's just really just plodding really deep, and then it's come up. I think Gav slipped the net end of it first time, and there it was, Mr. T. Couldn't believe it. Sat in I looked at it in the net, I'm like, what the hell is that? It's like this wide, it's like, Jesus. Yeah, and it went 45.7, and yeah, mega. And then I was, when it went in, I was just like, yes, come on. I just went mental, not to blow my own trumpet, but I've worked so hard for that fish. And I think if you speak to any of the members at Emperor at that time, they'll say the same, because I was moving in the night, I was staying up at the night and walking around in the early hours. Bearing in mind I'm doing this on overnighters and having to go to work, I was setting up on just off the barrow and not committing to a swim until it got dark, just in case something showed and I could move.
Did it show a lot up there?
Wow. I can only say on the season I done, and for me, yes, I've seen them a lot. There was times you didn't see, but in general, I would say, yeah, they showed. They weren't shy of a show. but at the start, you know, people did say they don't show. But I think I remember someone saying they've showed a bit more this season than they have in previous seasons. So, but yeah, it was the effort paid off.
Yeah.
So,
Usually doesn't it? You know, hard work should, and a lot of time does pay off.
yeah, it does, but it's got to be hard work in the right areas and at the right times, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think as long as you're watching the water, it doesn't matter like necessarily how experienced you are.
No.
But if you're watching that water and you're making the right decisions.
No, and once again, it shows that you can get good results on very limited time, which obviously is what you had. Like,
Yeah, I mean it's not massively understocked. Like it's a decent stock. It's perfect stock really. I think it's like something like 100 carp in 9 or 10 acres, maybe a bit smaller. I might be a bit off there.
There's
But
definitely not crawling up the lines, are they?
no, they are tricky.
Yeah.
They are very tricky. But then after that, you know, not to blabber on, but I couldn't put a foot wrong then. I had quite a few. Sometimes once you get the first one, the confidence is there.
Yeah.
But because of my personal life, it had changed. My circumstances had changed. I was allowed to, I was able to fish more.
Yeah.
And that made a difference. Being able to do a night and then being able to get back the next day or a couple of days later, you're seeing the pattern, and I was able to get on them.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, mega carp. Not everyone's cup of tea,
No.
but
It's definitely
impressive
character,
regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
old fish as well.
It's a big car.
Yeah.
So, while we're talking about
Emperor.
Emperor, that's the one. While we're talking about Emperor, this week was Emperor, so if you want to go into depth a bit more about the lake, the stock, I don't know, the way it's run, anything you've got to say about it, really,
Yeah, it's
and why it should be.
a strange one because nowadays, and probably even then, I do prefer dark, scaly fish. But I went there with an open mind and knowing there were some absolute belters and massive fish in there. Now, it's not just the fact. The initial buzz was there's a 50 in there. The first first lake in the UK that I'd fished where there was a 50-pounder.
No, there's fancy Rockford.
Oh no, there was.
Yeah.
But it's 50. Yeah, but the 50 pounders
Once you feel you have a
that
chance
are
to
like
catch it.
in like 60 acres that you can't get anywhere near them, and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So it was the first lake that I thought I was
You could
in with a
catch
chance of catching this.
Yeah.
Because bear in mind it's years on as well, very much more experienced, etc. So it was the buzz of that. Like now, bear in mind there was a 50 in there, but there was probably a dozen 40s in there as well. So like
Crazy stuff.
it's a mad
little
stuff.
lake.
And God knows how many 30s. Ridiculous. Like he's got something special there for sure. But when you go there, it's one of the most beautiful lakes you'll ever see. And it doesn't sound like it's going to be because it's just kind of a roundish lake with 3 islands. But Dave, the owner, knows exactly what he's doing. He knows his plants, he knows everything. And behind most swims, you've got like yellows, blues, pinks of all these different flowers that bloom in the spring and that, and in the summer. It's just mega. It's just awesome looking lake. Like I say, it's in a dip, like I mentioned before. So you've got like there's a waterfall on one of the banks.
Okay.
Where the stream comes in. It's obviously stream fed, I think, in 2 places maybe. And in at the right time of the year, when you obviously get a bit of waterfall, rainfall, you see the water trickling down, and it looks mega.
Yeah.
There's not, like I say, it's the best looking lake I've fished, and my favourite for them reasons, and it was my first proper syndicate as well. And to be honest, and I said this to Dave, I'd heard a few bad things, but to me, I didn't experience any of them.
No.
The only things I can say is good. It was the lads there. I got on with everyone. It was proper, like when people say about the camaraderie, the socials and stuff with the Yateley times and all that. That's what it was like for me. That's the only comparison I can make. Because it was mega, and I was there when Dave caught Hardtail, which was mega, and we had a Chinese after and everything. So I think that was what was different for me, because I'm used to club waters, where it's dog eat dog, every man for himself, you ain't telling no one nothing, and then I go on this lake where everyone's telling you everything, and almost
strange to see people really happy for you to catch their target.
Yeah, and they would tell you stuff. Like two guys that I was really close with, Carl and Tristan, good anglers, they were there. They had time on their sides in comparison to me. But whatever I seen, I would tell them, and they would, obviously, I kept some stuff to myself, and I'm sure they did, because you're going to. But they, it's almost like, because sometimes they tell me stuff I wouldn't take, not that I wouldn't take their advice, but I'd do something different because I felt like maybe, and I don't know whether they thought I was just being an idiot, but I weren't. I think it's like just inbuilt in my brain, like, yeah, but are they at the start? Because I'm from a club water background, I'm like, yeah, mate, you're sending me swervies. They weren't. They were being honest and trying to help out. But yeah, so that took a bit of getting used to. But it was, I know it's cliche, but it was like a family there. Great. Really, really nice.
That's good to hear, isn't it?
I love my time on that. And obviously, I caught the second biggest fish in the lake. First bite.
How big was it again?
45.7. Fluked it, but I don't care. But the effort, I did put a lot of effort in for that fish, and then I went on to catch another probably 8 or 10 or something. One section I think I had 6. All of them being Stockies bar, one mid-20. Then I had the long common as well. But 36.
Yeah, that's 34 cups, so that one.
34 or 36? Yeah, maybe long.